Okay. So, so our topic will be on the okay, so I sorry. Okay, these are just the basic no in Python. Let me just remove the term crash course. All right. So, okay, nawala naman yun. Okay, so anyway, our topic will be on uh okay, uh crash course no. Ay, crash course. Python basic no like it's about and some other topics here like pakita raw akong screen. Okay, so about Python features, its features, the basic syntax, and some other topics about assignments. Okay, so I think kato lang sa atong i-cover for this discussion. Okay, so when Python, this is a general purpose, no, interpreted programming language, and it is actually one of its features. So, kani siya si sci-fi, this will be discussed no later on in our topic no sa mga last na part. Okay, this is actually the Python libraries no for mathematics pero magamit gihapon mo ani. This is libraries for mathematics, science and engineering. Okay? So, sorry. And uh the ecosystem for the SciPy, is comprised of the following: si NumPy, MATLAB, Matplotlib, and the Pandas. No. Again, this will be covered na later on na lang after we are done with the basics about the Python. So, okay, so ato ta dire. So, again, it is said to be uh, interpreted, no? The Python is a general purpose interpreted language. No, when you say interpreted, uh, Python is processed at runtime by the interpreter. No, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with the word interpreter. Are you familiar? Or the term interpreter? No, this is a parallel term for compiler. No, so in a runs a program that will be uh, the language or the high level language will be converted to or compiled so that the machine language will understand, no, so i-convert na and it will be compiled, and the other term is interpreted. So Python is interpreted since this is a level language. This is a language close to uh, English, no, language, and it is also an interactive. Okay, so you can actually uh, sit at a Python prompt and interact with the interpreter, not directly to write your programs. No, inigran sa imong program, automatic nga na din siya response, or it can be interpreted directly. And it is object oriented as well. It supports object oriented style or technique of programming that encapsulates code within the object. So naani siya support siya sa mga kaning object-oriented supported siya. And it is a beginner's language, no, since uh, this supports the development of a wide range of applications from simple text processing to uh, browsers to games, no. So kani siya nga language mo, ani siya language nga ginagamit, no, sa ani nga mga purposes. All right, so these are the features, no, makita nato sa when we use the Python language. It is easy to learn because it has a few keywords and simple ra ang structures, and the syntax is clearly defined. So that's why it is said easy to learn na siya. And this will allow the students to pick up the language quickly. And it is also easy to read, no? Uh, since it is more clearly defined and visible to the eyes, and easy to maintain, and so on. So these are the features. So dili na lang natin itag sa tagsaon, but basically, although makita po ni sa ubang language, no, uh, I think mas advantage siya diari nga part sa portability and uh, diri sa iyang database and sa GUI niya. So when you say portable, it can actually run on a variety of hardware platforms, no. uh, this time we are actually using the GUI and the ano no the what we called as the uh sito gana the processor, no, nga ginagamit nato is not actually the local, no, sa akong gigamit, it's actually the processor sa cloud, no, gigamit, no. All right. um sa GUI, this supports GUI applications, no, and it can or it also support, no, libraries and other systems, no, such as Mac OS and Unix, no. So ayan na. All right, so basic syntax, no, sa Python. We have here a sample code. This is a uh, code ready to be executed. So kung i-click nato ni nga button, so this will be the output, no, of this sample hello world nga code. Okay, so no need for semicolon, no, dili kay siya ingon nga inana ka key sensitive. And for printing the output, you just need print keyword. You just write there print, and then enclose this with parentheses, and uh, place quotations, no, where inside your quotations is your strings, a series of strings, and that will be or that this will print the output. Okay, so all right, so for the Python identifiers, now here are the conventions. Okay, so the class names, it should start with an uppercase letter. No, dapat when we're going to make a class, the class name should start in uppercase. And all other identifiers, you can actually use lowercase letter. And starting an identifier with a single leading underscore, so kung mogamit kang underscore before you uh, use an identifier, no, that indicates as a private, no, that indicates as a private identifier. If duhapod, if you have two leading underscores, that indicates a strongly private identifier. So the same thing, no, if you're going to place uh, underscore to underscores at the end of the identifier, the identifier is what is a language defined special name. All right, so those are the conventions, no, when we write a Python identifier. For lines and indentions in Python, it provides no braces to indicate blocks of code for class. Now later I will show you how to create a class. No, I will show you an example and a function as well. So wala siya braces, and blocks of code are denoted by line indentation. Okay, so for example, here, now if we have here a uh, what we call as the flow, no, sample of a flow control, the if else statement, no, kung ato nang i-run, this actually a all right, so let me just okay, balik sa ta crash missing parenthesis, sorry, so let's put parenthesis here. Okay, print man din eh. Okay, so if you can see, naka-indent siya. Okay, so this is the output, no? Okay, so naka-indent siya so that sa ito gana ma-consider siya as part sa isa ka flow control, no? For example, gamit tag if, dapat indented siya. This is very important, no? And then if, and then the condition, and then colon. Okay, so indented siya, and then your else, colon, and then indentation for the body. Okay, however, kung dili na to siya i-indent, no, this will generate an error, no? Bisan pag butangan na to ni og parenthesis, okay, kung error man siya if walay parenthesis. Okay, so indentation error na expected and indented block. Okay, so mao na siya error niya. So therefore, if you're going to write a class and a function or flow control, there should have an indentation. Okay, so uh, another thing, statements in Python typically end with a new line. No? However, Python does allow the use of the line continuation character to denote that the line should continue. Okay, so naatay example dere. So kung ang imong line of code, uh, if you want to end your line of code here, syempre uh, until ana lang siya, no? For example, mag-assign ta, and then if naa siya as ito gani naa pa siya sumpay, and then if we're going to write it on another line, no, we should consider uh, putting this one, no, to consider so ito gani to allow the use of the line continuation, no. So kung wala ni siya, no, dili ni siya basahon. So kung tangtangon nato ni siya, this line of code should be placed at the top, no, along with the first line. Okay, so statements contained within the square bracket, curly braces, or parentheses, no, do not need to use the line continuation. No, kung naka-enclose siya ani, no need to use line continuation. Okay, so for example, kani siya, sa days, uh, we make an array, no, an array for the identifier or the variable days, no. So i-assign nato siya dire. So no need for continuation character, no, only commas if necessary. For quotation in Python, it accepts a single quote or double quote or triple quote to denote string literals, no? So as long as the same type of quote starts and ends the string. So kung first or single quote imong gamiton sa first before the string, after sa string, no, dapat pares pud na single quote. No, dili pwede nga mag single quote ka and then sa pikas is double quote. Now, for example, kani we have the word is equal to word. So naka-string ni siya and then enclosed with a single quote. And this one for double quote and paragraph for triple quote. Okay. So sa Python, comments is assigned with a hash sign, no, that is not inside a string literal, no, begins a comment. Now all characters after the hash and up to the end of the physical line are part of the comment, and the Python interpreter ignores them. So I think kabalo na mo ana. This is how the comment, no, is uh, placed, or how the comment is written in Python. Now you can actually write a multiple comments as long as you write, no, in every, for example, so in ani, no, this is an example of multiple comments. Okay, so for another way to write a multiple comments, you can use a triple quoted string, no, which also ignored by Python interpreter. Okay, let's try this one. So kani siya. So this is a triple quoted string, no, naa siya sa in between aning triple nga quote. Okay, so I think that's it for the syntax, no. Okay, let's proceed to assignment, or what we called as the 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 type of variables now we can assign to Python. First, we have strings, no. Uh, what do you mean by strings? You can actually assign. Hmm? This is a set of characters, no, represented in the uh, inside the quotations, okay, or quotation marks. Uh, it allows, no, Python strings allows for either pairs of single or double quotes again, no, to assign, no, to assign a string, no. For example, we have here hello world. We use what? We use equal sign to assign a sa man to assign a value. Okay, so first is the string. So unsaon pag-assign? We have kani, we are using here a single quote. Okay, so if we are going to execute this one, so mao na ni siyang output. Okay, so print data. This time wala ta nag-use og kuan og kanang single quote inside the print because we are referring to this variable. Okay, so we are referring to this data variable which has or which contain the assigned string hello world. Okay, so since 0 man ang nasulod sa square brackets, this refers to the the position, no, or the address in the array. So asa galit magsugod, it always start with 0, no. So ang position niya, no, starts with 0, not 1. So from here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, yun na, 'di ba? So address, no, 0, that is letter H. Okay, and len, which refers to the length of the data, no, data variable. So that is why 11 yung giprint. That includes the white space, no. So kung ipuna nimo tanan, this is 11. And print data, so hello world. Okay, so that is how we assign strings, no. Okay, so pwede ka maka kuan ani maka si tawag ani, pwede ka maka test, no, or maka for example, string, sorry, forgot, missing parenthesis, right, data. Manana siya, no, we just replace this one, like for example, uh, this one. Okay, so this prints the character from uh, the two the position 2 to 5, no, strings, which is L, L, and O. So you can test, no, the string arrays like this, or for example, you can actually experiment, no. So na kung walaon po nato na, let's see kung unsay mahitabo. Okay, from the position 2 and up until the last, no, nga character. All right, so you can actually concatenate as well using the plus sign. Okay, so mo na siya strings. Now let's go to numbers. How do we assign numbers? So for example, here we have 123.1 assigned to value, no. Kung i-print nato ni siya, obviously this will print out. Okay, but in the third line, we placed a new assignment, or we assigned a new value for the variable value. That is why the output is 10. Okay, so always ang i-print niya is ang katong updated, no. This line updates the value of the variable value. Okay, you can also use this array, no, to assign a uh, number, no, as a value. Okay, so yun na, like you can assign numbers, no, as long as dili lang na nimo butangan og kuan dira, no. It will interpret as strings kung butangan nimo og quotations, no, but numbers without quotations. Okay, so for boolean, that we can only assign, no, duha lang ka value, that includes true or false, or this is the true here, its value is 1, and false is 0. Okay, so for boolean, pwede na to na siya, or pwede ta maka-assign, no, og boolean. Okay, for multiple assignment, we can assign it like this. Okay, so as long as we place comma. Okay, so A, comma, B, and comma C. So, here, make sure nga tulupod, no, ang value nga imong ibutang separated by commas. So that when you're going to print all of these variables, no, of course, i-print na niya ang assigned nga value niya. Okay? For no value, you can just place or write none. This is a keyword, no? So, mahibaw na to nga keyword ni siya. It's because naka-kuan siya, na-color yan text. Okay? Okay, so I'm trying to hover my mouse pointer if na siya magawas. For details ani niya, no, you can go to here sa frequently asked questions or ask question on Stack Overflow to know the value of keywords and statements. Okay, so okay, all right. So I think okay mo padayon ta. So I think dito rin tama no ang topics nga we should cover for okay. So additional lang, you can actually assign list. All right. So in addition, no, you can assign a list. Let me just add. Ay sorry. Delete sa nato na this one. Let me add code for the list. Okay, can you see my screen? No, nakoy gidungag. Okay. So list, no, this is the most versatile of Python's compound data types. No, it contains items separated by commas and enclosed within a square brackets. To some extent, lists are similar to arrays sa C. So one difference lang between them is that all the items belonging to a list can be a different data type. No, so let me just add the text here, the infos. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this will be an error kaya wala na pud ni nato butangi og parenthesis. But for some, no, for some environment, what IDE, the integrated development environment that supports a Python language, you can actually run a line of code or you can run a format na for printing without the parenthesis. So ato lang siyang butangan kay mo error man siya ani good. So you can assign a variable in a list, no? So for example, here we have list equals ABCD, no? This will be considered as, or this will be assigned to one address or one array, no? And then separated by comma for another value, we assign a whole number, and then comma, and then another value for a float, type integer, and then a name and another decimal, no? And another variable with value in the list, we have 1 2 3 and then this one John. So the value stored in a list can be accessed during the slice operator, no, what we call as the, what I mean is this one, kaning square brackets in the column with the colon inside, with indexes starting at 0, no, in the beginning of the list, and kabalo naman taana. And when we're going to access the last value in the array, we don't use 0, but we can actually ako idungag dire, we can use -1 instead. Okay, so let's replace this one with -1, so that refer to the last value in the list. The plus sign, no, here sa pinakaubos nga line inside is the concatenation, no, operator, and the asterisk here is the repetition operator. Now let's try to run this one. Okay, so for the list, it will show, no, this output, since the we assigned, no, we assigned the following in this variable. And for the list 0, no, again 0, what happened, this is atra ABCD. So in the zeroth place, no, pinakauna niya nga place sa array, that is 0. And then -1, this is 70.2, that refers to the last value in your list. And 1, 2, 3, that exclude, no, the first, kay nag-start man ta sa 1, so 786 to 2.23. And then 2 and 2 colon and 2 and colon, that refers to the second place, and then until the last place of the list. And tiny list times 2, so we just multiplied inside, no, the value, no, so gibalik lang nato kaduha. And concatenate, we concatenate the value of list up until here, na diba mao ni ang list, and then this is the tiny list, so ato lang siyang gisumpay using the plus sign. Okay, so all right, so aside from list, other sequence of data, no, which is very similar, is what we call as tuple, no, tuple. Maumaora siya, no, og maumaora siya og what we call as format, no, actually. But unlike list, no, tuples are enclosed, no, within parentheses, no. So kung ilisan lang nato siya parenthesis dire, tuples na ang ang ito na term, no, nga ginagamit, or type of value assignment or operator. So that is just the difference, no, kato ang brackets sa list, and then the tuples will be on parentheses. So another difference is that we can use list to enclose to enclose the value in brackets, and we can actually change, no, we can actually change the elements and the size, no. Kung sumpay na to ni dire, no, mag-add tag another line of code which will update the value in the list, pwede siya. But in tuple, dili siya pwede, no. The value inside cannot be changed or cannot be updated, no, where hence tuples can be thought of as read-only list, so dili siya ma-update. Okay, so mo lang na siya difference sa tuple ug list. And For okay, there's another one, but this will be discussed under the ano under the data structure. Yeah, so that includes actually the tuple and list. No, so dictionary, but we will just discuss that later. No, later na lang. So I think that will be all no for this topic. Okay, so again, just to summarize, no, uh, Python. Again, this is a general purpose interpreted programming language, which is interpreted. This is interactive and supported with object oriented and uh, considered as a beginner's language. Okay, so features we can find in Python. No, first is easy to learn lang siya. It is easy to read, easy to maintain. No, and it has a broad standard library. Okay nga nung it has a broad standard library. Uh, uh, Python's bulk library is portable and uh, cross platform. No, it can be considered as cross platform, compatible on Unix, Windows, and Mac OS. So, yun na. And it is portable, extendable, and when it comes to the database, it provides interfaces to all major commercial databases. No, and another feature is yung GUI. Again, it supports GUI application that can be created and ported to many system calls. And lastly is scalable. So uh, for identifiers, dapat now this is just a convention, no? What is uh, generally agreed, no, sa mga programmers that it should start with lowercase kay class name man ang uppercase, no? So one single leading underscore indicates a private identifier, and if two, that is strongly private identifier. But if the two trailing underscore is at the end of the identifier, then it is considered as a language defined special name. So for the indentions, this is very important if you are uh, writing a block of code for class and function definitions or flow controls like if and else, no. And for the syntax, no, you can actually use continuation character for multiple line statements. If uh, you're not going to use multiple line statements just for the purpose nga i-multiple lang nimo ang line for the sake of sa ito kanang understanding, no, sa laing programmer nga mogamit or anyone, you can actually use brackets, curly braces, or parentheses. And for the quotations, you can use single, double, and triple quotations to denote string literals. For comments, you can use hash, no, in every no, in every line, no, line of comments, or triple quotations, no. For assignments of strings, yeah, you use single quote or double or triple to assign, and then use equal symbol to assign to a variable, no. So for numbers, we do not use quotations. We use also we use len, and then uh, len and then followed by the type of the variable to see the the or what we call the cardinality, to determine the cardinality of the string. And for boolean, only true or false, we assign. Of course, naka-capital siya because this is a keyword. No, kung small na siya, that will be considered as string, no? But dili siya basahon kay wala pud siya quotations. And multiple assignment, we separate each variable with a comma, equals, and then the value separated by comma as well. For no value, we write none, okay? And on sa tong last, tuple and the list, no? So difference lang ana niya, they use brackets, and the tuple is brace, no, which ang tuple which is uh, ma-assign siya, but its value cannot be updated. Okay, so I think that's all. No, that's all for this lecture. So do you have any